motherfucking saga continue.
Okay, yo, what up? It's your girl Joy, the Hip Hop Horrifying, and welcome to The Lighthouse. Okay, so we are on episode 11, I believe it is. Let me double check. I should have been, I don't know why I don't know that. Why I don't know that. That's something I need to know. Hold up. Yes, no. Episode 12. Episode 12. Okay, we are on episode 12. Sorry I'm late. You were supposed to get this on Saturday, but I was busy. I was tired. All the things. So, yeah. So, for this week's episode, we will be going to the South. I realized there was not a heavy Southern presence on the podcast, on the Lighthouse. And so I was like, you know what? Why wouldn't I go down south? So, of course, I had to go to my favorites, HCP, Hypnotized Camp Posse. Okay? Today we will be discussing 3 6 Mafia's When the Smoke Clears 6661. Okay, this is one of my favorite albums from high school. Okay, if you know, you know. Okay, 3 6 Mafia, one of the most influential hip hop groups ever. One of the, if not the most influential rap group from the South. Okay, I'm gonna give it what it deserves. I'm about to give out some flowers. DJ Paul, Juicy J, one of the most dynamic and prolific production duo of all time. Okay, you are currently listening to their music, and you don't even know. You don't even know because they clear samples all day, every day. Okay, and so we are still reveling in the magic that was 3 6 Mafia. So let's get into it. Okay, this album was released on June 13th, year 2000. Okay, Y2K was a big deal. Okay, we were 6 months in, we were halfway through the year when this album dropped. Okay, and of course, I got the location as Memphis. MEMPHIS. Okay, making easy money, pimping hoes is serious. Okay, so let's see. You have DJ Paul, okay, founding member. Juicy J, founding member. You have Lord Infamous, Crunchy Black, Gangsta Boo, Coops the Nicka. Okay, they changed members often, but we are going to get into all of that. Okay, let me make sure that the microphone is on. I mean, I know the microphone is on, but let me, get close. Got my trusty iPad here so I can look at the chart as you look at it. So we are having a real-time discussion. Okay, so first things off top here is the chart. Okay, do you see it? Can you see it? You see it. Okay, so the first thing that grabs everyone's attention is 666, 3 6 Mafia, 666. Woo! Okay, it's really 1999 in reverse or upside down or whatever you want to call it. And people say, wow, the album wasn't released until 2000, but I'm sure a majority of the recording happened in 1999. Okay, this isn't a DSP release where you could throw something together, email verses back and forth, and then have an album in a month or a week or whatever. No, you had to actually go and get into the studio with everybody. You had to make the beat. Okay, you had to have a DAT tape. You had to send it in to the label. They listened to it, then it got pressed for CDs. Okay, and so of course, like always, I got the time here set for 8 a.m. because that is likely when most record stores open their doors. Okay, and so before we get into it, let's do a commercial. This is the Graffiti Oracle deck available on my website, okay? All designed and written and put together with original photography by yours truly, okay? Make sure you go and pick this up, add this to your Oracle Tarot collection. It is a great art piece, so even if you don't do Oracle or Tarot, there's some great photography in here that I am sure you can hang on your wall. Okay, I don't want to keep y'all too long with the commercials because I want to get right into it, okay? So, starting off with 666. Okay, it's already a little bizarre and strange. Okay, and we're going to get into that. 36 Mafia, they started off as a horrorcore group. They were the 666 Mafia because of 666. They tried to kind of tap into people's insecurities and occult nature by leaning into the whole 666 theme. Okay, a lot of rappers do it now. They pretend that they worship the devil and do all of this stuff, but they really don't. They really don't. Okay. Juicy J's dad is actually a pastor. Okay, so it is very likely that he was not into what they were not into what y'all think they were or what we thought they were back then. Like, people thought they was really like devil worshippers and doing all of this stuff, and it was evil and wicked, and but that's neither here nor there. So look at the chart here. Here's the chart. And so Cancer rising, Gemini sun with a Scorpio moon. Cancer rising. You were like, what? Cancer? I can't believe this album got Cancer. We're going to get into it. We are going to get into it. So if you notice, all of the individual planets except the moon are in the 12th house. So that is the Sun, Mercury, Venus, and Mars. Those are the individual planets, okay? Not personal. I mean, y'all probably say personal, so we'll just call them personal, okay? But they're really individual, okay? Not personal. So all of the individual planets are in the 12th house, every single one except for the moon. But the moon makes lots of aspects, okay, there's a trine to Mercury. There is, I forgot what that symbol is called, biquintile or something like that, to Mars. And you got opposite Saturn, square Uranus, square Neptune, trine the rising. Okay, the moon is doing a lot. The moon is doing a lot, even though she way over here in the 5th house. Okay, but all of the individual planets but the moon are in the 12th house. All of the personal and social planets, so that's why I didn't want to say planets. Individual planets, but the personal planets are Sun, Moon, and Mercury, I believe. But they're all in the 12th house, right? And so the 12th house, of course, being part of the Neptune Pisces archetype, the focus here is drug addiction. Okay, we're going to talk a lot about that theme throughout this album, okay, throughout this episode, okay. Every song is either about drugs or violence. The violence is coming from the Aries midheaven. Look all the way at the top. You see the MC 10th house starts with Aries. Okay, very aggressive music, not just violence and physical threats of violence, but also the music is fast. It's very up tempo or upbeat. You have the triple time rap style, okay, of Lord Infamous and a majority of the members of the group. Okay, a lot of you all might know that from Amigos, but we know it's all Memphis. Okay, not that it's singular to Memphis, because the Midwest, Cleveland, Chicago, St. Louis, they was doing triple time too. But 3 6 Mafia put Triple Time on the map. Okay, know that for a fact. Okay, so midheaven Aries, that is where the aggression, that is where the anger, the irritability, the frustration, all of that play comes out through the music. Okay, and so here so let me explain how we're going to do this. We're not going to go around the zodiac wheel like we normally do. We're not going to go in order of planet or placement. Okay, we're going to kind of focus on one thing at a time, and then we're just going to do the 5th house, 7th, 8th, 11th, and 12th. Okay, in that order. That's how we're going to end. But first, because there's so much 12th house energy, we have to look at Neptune first. Okay, and I would say Pisces, but there's no placements in Pisces, so 9th house is good. We understand this album as a event, there is no moral dilemma going on here. Okay, we know right from wrong. We understand, moral judgment. There's no religious piece necessarily. We'll get there. Okay, but we want to focus on Neptune. Neptune is in the 7th house in the sign of Aquarius. Neptune is squaring Pluto, who is in Sagittarius in the 5th house. And so that is giving me hints to this album is kind of about like the ultimate high. Okay. Neptune, Pisces, 12th house, like I said, is all about drug addiction. Okay. And then Pluto, we know, is about death. Sagittarius is about, Sagittarius is a very enthusiastic energy. Okay, and 5th house is where we're just having fun, we're enjoying ourselves. Okay, but it's all about that ultimate high, that ultimate fix. That is what we are longing for. That is the overarching message coming out of this album. Okay, so we have Uranus here in Aquarius in the 8th house. And like I said before, Juicy J's dad was a pastor, so I feel like from Juicy J's perspective, I think he kind of used the music as a way to kind of rebel against religion, but in a healthy manner. Okay, he wasn't I don't know about his personal life. I'll say that. I don't know about any of the members' personal lives, but he wasn't doing what we necessarily would think of as like a rebel child. You know what I'm saying? He was still in school. For as far as I know, grades was average. Okay, but he did music. He was like, I'm gonna channel. He was using the music to channel his anger, channel any frustrations about being limited in this house of religious structure and belief, and you gotta look like this. You are PK, so there are expectations, there's a certain image that you have to portray. And so I can do that, but I can do this in the music. I can rap about this, I can rhyme about this, I can say whatever I want on wax, because I can't go to jail, can't get in trouble for it. Back then you couldn't. Okay, I ain't dry snitching on myself or nobody else. I'm only talking about what I want to talk about. Things that I've seen, things that I've experienced. Okay? And so we're going to stay on Jupiter, because Jupiter's about religion. If you look in the 11th house, you see Jupiter, the 4, and Saturn right there, the little lowercase h. Okay, they are conjunct in Taurus in the 11th house. They are both squaring Uranus, who is at home in Aquarius. But guess what? Guess who's retrograde? Uranus, Neptune, Pluto. Okay, all of the big planets. Okay, these are the collective planets. Okay, because they're more broad. We're going to talk about collective, okay, as we get a little deeper in. Okay, but He did something different with the music. He did something different. That is the Uranus Aquarius square. Okay. Did something different. Okay. That was the horrorcore. That's where we started. That was the beginning, right? And then it was all about Jupiter with the morals, the ethics. Then Saturn comes in with the structure and the limits, the boundaries, the rules. Okay. Your father is a preacher. So he is the authority not only at home, but in the community as the leader of the church. Okay. And so all of that contributed to him wanting to do something different and rebel through music in a creative way. Okay. Uranus aspects all of those individual planets that we talked about before that are in the 12th house. Uranus is aspecting all of them. Every single one. Uranus is trying the sun. Uranus is even squaring the moon. There's a biquintile to Mercury, trine to Venus and Mars, squaring Jupiter and squaring Saturn. Uranus is making an aspect to every single one of those planets. Okay? Every single one. Every single one. A sextile is, a trine. A trine is a very complementary angle. A trine is making sure that each planet, both planets involved in the aspect, are getting their needs met. They are supporting each other. Okay? And so, yes, I am able to maintain my morals and ethics, Jupiter, okay, by just limiting my rebellious behavior, Uranus, through the music, 12th house. Okay. I am still abiding by and living within the structure and the limits in the physical, but on this music, I am completely out of these predetermined boundaries. Okay? So let's get on the moon. Let's get on the moon. Let's get on the moon. Oh, wait. Sorry. Notes. I'm getting a little ahead of myself. Uranus aspect of all. Very innovative sound that this album created. That they created with this album. Original music is very important. Okay? They wouldn't be able to divvy out the samples in the way that they do now if they didn't have original compositions. Okay? The music is very shocking, very disruptive to everything that was happening in the early 2000s. Okay? It sounded like nothing else. Okay? And it's very radical. It's very different. People were, 3-6 Mafia? And all they talk about is drugs and violence. It's only like 2 songs on this whole album that's about sex. You got Tongue Ring, and you got let me see, because it's pulled up. Trust and Believe. From the back, and Tongue Ring. Those are the only 2 songs that are about sex. Everything else is literally drugs and violence. Okay? So, okay. Now we go into the moon. Okay? You see the moon down there at the beginning of the 5th house, right on the cusp there. Okay? The moon indicates how dependent on what's happening in the 12th house this album is. Dependent on the drugs. Okay? Sometimes when creatives veer off the path and they start to use drugs, they start to think that the drugs is what's fueling the creativity, when that's not necessarily the case. So they start to doubt themselves. Self-esteem gets lower. All of this is kind of like the sun. Ego is a bit diminished. Okay? And so they depend more on the drugs because they feel like, I am at my zenith when I am high as a kite. Okay? So, the intro. Drugs. We're talking about drugs, right? You see, and we're talking about Neptune, right? Neptune is forming a trine to Jupiter. Okay? A trine to Jupiter. And the ninth house is in Pisces. So that is like what we would call a repeating theme. Okay? The intro to the album is a Bible verse by Juicy J. Starting off with a Bible verse. That's how we're kicking things off. That's how we're kicking things off. Heavy, heavy, heavy. And no, I know it's like, but what does that have to do with Cancer? Cancer rising. We're going to get there. We're going to get there. I promise you. Okay? So, Mercury, right there in the 12th house, but conjunct the rising. Okay? And so, I did a dispositor sequence for this album. I just did it real quick, but I'm pretty sure Mercury is the final dispositor, meaning when the Sun, Venus, when Mars, the Moon, Pluto, Jupiter, when all the other planets are unable to make a decision that satisfies the needs of every placement involved and to get the physical need met or the psychological need met, Mercury is the one that's going to make that decision. Mercury is the one that's in charge of all of this. And it's not just because Mercury is conjunct the ascendant. It is based on it is based on the sign that each planet is in. One day during the episode, I'll do a depositor ship map or whatever. I forgot what it's called. And I'll show y'all how to do that. Oh, maybe. Okay. All right. Leave it alone. I'm getting ideas. So Mercury's in charge. That is communication. That's transportation. And y'all know every single time we talk about a rap album, which is all we're probably going to talk about, unless we're doing like Mary J. Blige or somebody. It's always Neptune is always involved. Pisces, some kind of way. And if all these planets in this 12th house does not raise your people's eyebrow, if you know, you know, then I don't know what to tell you. But yes. Placements in the collective sign houses. So a majority of the planets are in collective sign houses. The first six houses, okay, those are individual placements, individual sign houses, okay? 7 through 12, houses 7 through 12 are collective sign houses, okay? A collective sign house, okay, is drawn toward participating in larger networks. It's all about community interest, not just what you need or interest in or want to do, but what the collective, okay, wants to do, okay? And so then you have universal sign houses. That is when you divide the zodiac wheel up into threes, okay? So that would be 4 quadrants. So the universal sign houses are from the 9th house to the 12th house, okay? That is where a majority of the placements are, and it's really because everything is in the 12th house. It's really that simple. It's really that simple. A universal sign house is concerned with the ultimate truth, the ultimate love, the ultimate order. Okay, that's why I said ultimate high in the beginning. Because after, everybody that has smoked weed or done whatever drug or whatever, you are always going to be chasing that very first high, and you're never going to get it back because once you smoke or do whatever you do that one time, that drug of initiation, that's it. Okay? You're changed forever. Your body chemistry, your brain chemistry, you're never going to be able to go back. I don't care if you don't smoke for the rest of your life. Okay? Or whatever you do for the rest of your life. It's never going to be the same. So it's not even worth it. Okay? So, Do do do. Collective sign houses are also more focused on long-term goals that benefit society as a whole. Okay? And universal sign houses are all about the evolution of humanity as a whole. So the macro, not the micro. I know a lot of people use that, but I felt like when that came to my mind, I was like, well, this is something that, they'll be able to understand. So also, as you age, time speeds up. Your perspective is different. Essentially, you experience a lot more, but in a shorter space of time. Time isn't really speeding up. It's just your perspective. Like, dang, it was just Tuesday, or dang, it was just this day, or dang, we was just in 2023. Yeah, you're experiencing a lot in a shorter amount of time as you age. Okay, and so through here we see, because everything is mostly in the 12th house, the 12th house is associated with 80 years and older, right? And so imagine when, after this album came out, imagine all of the experiences they had during this time when they were at their climax as 3-6 Mafia, all the way up until they had the Oscar, right? A lot of people, 3-6 Mafia, they would come out, they had Who Run It, sipping on that scissor, then boom. Unless you was really like tapped in, you didn't have a clue what they was gonna do. Then they had Choices, the movie and the album, okay? Then they had Lil White, and everybody had their solo albums, and Crunchy Black, and then, everything was happening. All the Project Pat stuff, when Pat went to jail, they did the mixtape, and yeah, I'm that girl, okay? So all of that happened within a short amount of time, because if this was in 2000, they won the Oscar. I know I was in college. Dang. So that it might have been, and now I'm just going to estimate, I'm just going to leave room for error on both sides. So let's just say 10 years. In 10 years, they probably experienced a lifetime worth of living. Okay? So, Uranus in Aquarius. We got to go back to Uranus every single time. Uranus is the only planet that is in its home sign. None of these other planets are in its home sign. Uranus is the only one. Okay? 8th house. So there were lots of changing of the members. Okay, that's the Aquarius. The breaking up and the breaking away, and change and progress and reform. You got to tweak this, you got to tweak that. Okay, they change members all the time, but the core was always DJ Paul and Juicy J for sure. Crunchy Black was definitely going to be there. And then I would say even Gangsta Boo, because she was the female holding it down. Even though LeChat slid, okay, on is it the Memphis joint? Yeah, Touch With It, number 17. Yep, LeChat slid. She came in on that. LeChat came in. Murder She Spoke. Murder She Wrote. Okay, Murder She Spoke. That was a good album too. Okay, that was a good album too. I wish Glorilla would get LeChat on the on her version of Slob on My Knob, because LeChat had the female version on her album. It was hard. Okay, but anyway, they change members all the time. So we have R.I.P. first. We lost Lord Infamous in December of 2013. He was 40 years old, and he suffered a heart attack, okay, from drug-induced illness. Then we had Coops the Nicka. He died in October of 2015. Now, I don't know if his was drug related, but he did have a stroke. He was in the ICU on life support, and he ended up having an aneurysm. He also died at the age of 40. And then Gangsta Boo, not that long ago, January 1st, 2023, she OD'd off some bad cocaine that was laced with fentanyl. She was 43. Okay? All of these deaths were sudden. They were abrupt. Okay, that's what Uranus does. It shocks you. It's like, oh my God, what? Gangsta Boo? Oh my God, wow. Oh my God, Coops the nigga. Oh my God, Lord Infamous. Like, as a fan of the whole Camp Posse, HCP Hypnotized, and I was gonna wear my Hypnotized Minds t-shirt or Project Pat t-shirt or something, but I ain't feel like changing my clothes. But that was very shocking, especially to hear how old they were. 40s, early 40s. I'm almost their age. I'm older than Coops the nigga and Lord Infamous were when they died. I just had a birthday last week. Happy birthday to me still. Okay? But yeah. Gangsta Boo, when she died, she was not that much older than I am now. Okay? It's very sad. It's very disheartening. Okay? So, I think we should work. I wrote this backwards, but we're going to do it forward. Okay? And then I can end on this note. Okay, so we're going into houses. We're going to talk about each house in bulk, what each house means, and what each planet means in that house for this particular album. You got it? Okay. Fifth house. Fifth house, we have the moon, Pluto, and you do see Chiron, but we're not looking at Chiron, but we do have the moon in Scorpio and Pluto in Sagittarius. Okay, the fifth house is where you seek out playmates. Okay, so think about when you're younger. This is essentially kind of like when you are getting into middle school, trying to figure out like who you are as a person, your own identity, but you're also seeking friends that you want to be with, that have the same interests as you, things that you have in common with, peers to have fun with, because the sun, fifth house, is all about enjoying yourself, enjoying life. Okay, sporting events, doing stuff, having fun, right? So here you have the moon. So as a group, I think they were looking for someone who is, okay, so let me say it like this. I should have wrote a little note of how I was going to say it. I am seeking a peer. This is the moon in the fifth house. I'm speaking as the moon in the fifth house in Scorpio. I am seeking someone that can be quiet and help me to conceal my drug addiction, because the moon got all of those aspects, right? My drug addiction. Someone who can be covert, someone who can be elusive with me. Okay, to try to hide it, conceal it, keep it on the low. I'm doing drugs because I'm vulnerable to this industry. I'm insecure, I'm shy, I'm timid, I am sensitive. I am easily hurt. I am easily influenced. And I'm very impressionable. They were young, okay, when this music came out. They were young. I'm about to do the math. Okay, so in the year 2000, and then Coops the nigga died in 2013. He wasn't 13. I'm doing the math wrong, but they was young, okay, because I don't want to hold up the podcast with the math, because my math don't be mathing, okay? But at the same time, I need someone who is nurturing, someone who is loving, someone who is loyal, who can protect me, a group of people that I know who care about me and will accept me, flaws and all. We are a group. We are going to take care of each other. We're going to stay loyal. We're going to stay down. We're going to protect each other. We're going to love each other. If something happens to me, I know you're going to hold it down. If you see me in a bad situation, you're going to pull me out of that. Okay? We are here supporting each other. Okay? Helping each other. Pluto, fifth house. Who is going to be in a group with me that is going to project and pretend that we're evil, pretend that we're corrupt, live this dark lifestyle, scare people a little bit, alarm them? We are going to essentially destroy ourselves, kill ourselves, literally, with all these drugs and stuff. Okay? And in the background, we're going to be having a whole lot of sex. You know, groupies and being famous and all that stuff. Okay? That's fifth house. So now we're going to go to the seventh, where you see Neptune in Aquarius. The seventh house is kind of like the house of public relations. This is your PR department here, seventh house, okay? It's all about social relatedness, networking, socializing, all of that stuff, right? And so Neptune is here. Neptune is like, I need a group or a network, a socialized group of friends who is going to help me dissolve into the chaos. Who going to be there with me? Okay, when who gonna get super high with me? Who trying to get super high with me? Who trying to do all the drugs? Cause I'm here, cause I'm so vulnerable. I'm easily hurt, impressionable, easily influenced. I am surrendering to the addiction. And you have to say surrendering to the addiction because of Neptune's square to the moon. Okay? Neptune is squaring the moon. So I am surrendering. I am giving up. I am letting the addiction win. Okay? Eighth house is where we find Uranus at home in Aquarius. So this takes us back to the overall album, the music composition. Production geniuses, DJ Paul and Juicy J are. Everybody on this album were able to be free-spirited. They had the freedom and independence to do whatever they want. They could rap about whatever it is they want. They were liberated. They enlightened people. They woke people up. Okay? And you know what? I'm gonna go back. So I'm gonna save that for last because that's my wrap up. So now we're going to go to, I never did the 11th house. I didn't write down the 11th house. So let me see 11th house real quick. 11th house. This is third, fourth. The 11th house is about fellowship. Group calls. This is where we express our concern for humanity. And so here you have Saturn and Jupiter, whom we have already kind of touched on. Okay? Group calls. The group calls in the beginning was the horrorcore. We were within the morals. We were living, for this album, there was never any morals. There was never any ethics. There were no values. All of that was out the window. We had no limits. We had no boundaries. There were no rules. Okay? The 11th house put all of that over the group. The group, the authority probably in the group was probably DJ Paul or Juicy J. Okay, they're the producers, they're the executive producers, they are the founders, the foundation of the group. Okay? And so that is likely them. DJ Paul and Juicy J. Two of a kind duo. They probably made the rules of the group. This is what you're supposed to do. You need to get you some help. Because DJ Paul and Juicy J, they didn't stay on drugs the whole time. Well, I don't know about Paul, but I'm pretty sure Juicy is sober right now. I would suggest y'all go get his book. Okay? He got a book. I ain't read it, I ain't got it, but I do want it and I do plan to read it. Okay? So let's go to 12th house and then we can wrap it up and be out. 12th house. Planets in the 12th house suggest what we sacrifice in order to return to oneness with God, to transcend. Okay, this album definitely transcended genres. It definitely transcended time because, like I said, they still clearing samples today, Paul and Juicy J. All the time, every day. Like 21 Savage, I don't know, but I know. Because I can hear it when I listen to the music. I'm thinking it's 3-6 Mafia. I'm thinking it's Project Pat. I'm thinking it's this beat from this time or what have you. Okay? So, Mercury. Well, no, let's go in order. Sun. What are you sacrificing? These planets in the 12th house represent what they as a group each sacrificed in order to make this album a success. In the sun, they sacrifice literally themselves. Okay? Just like Jesus. He sacrificed himself, right? That's what the Christians believe. He sacrificed himself so that humans could have eternal life. They wanted this album, this music to live on forever. Oh, and it will. And they are legends. Okay? Who's next? Venus. They sacrificed a life of pleasure, a life of comfort, safety, and security. They had a little coin, but they were still in the trenches, honey. They sacrificed what could have been a beautiful life had they not been so addicted to drugs. Cocaine is a hell of a drug. Okay? And once you reach certain levels, cocaine is just like smoking weed. It's just a party drug. It's just what rich people do. Okay? Sun, Venus, Mars, life. The sun represented the self, like you, who you are as a person. Mars is about life, like your survival. They sacrificed it. We just named 3 people that died. They sacrificed their life by using drugs. They all, except for Koopstanika, because we don't know, can't confirm, but they sacrificed their life and died at a very early age. Okay, from drug-related illnesses and overdose. Okay? And then Mercury, their health. I know some of y'all was going to say, well, the voice, the communication, they sacrifice. No, they sacrifice their health. Mercury rules Virgo. Virgo was about a healthy lifestyle, physical fitness, doing what's right. Also, like your digestive system. Okay? They sacrifice their health. Drugs is not healthy, people. Okay? They sacrifice all of that to make this album. Now, granted, we don't know if they was doing drugs before this album came out, but I can guarantee you when they was making this album, it was a hell of a drug. Okay? Says the Pisces who does drug use prevention. Okay? Okay? So I'll leave y'all with this. Uranus is associated with Prometheus. And like I said, Uranus is making an aspect to every single one of those individual planets in the 12th house, right? Prometheus was a Titan. Not an Olympian, a Titan. He stole fire and gave it to the humans so that they could develop their civilization. Zeus, the god Zeus, punished him by chaining him to a rock, and an eagle would come down and fly down and eat his liver every day. And at night, the liver would just regenerate, and then the eagle would just come back again every day. Every day. Eternal suffering. Pisces, 12th house, Neptune is all about the suffering. Victim. Being a victim. Being a martyr. Accepting things and allowing things to happen. Submitting. Letting go and letting God. Being helpless. Hiding the drug addiction. And denying the drug addiction. Prometheus. 3-6 Mafia was like Prometheus. They brought the fire. They brought this music and gave it to us. And we are still developing as a civilization. Well, the young rappers, they are still developing. Okay? The game. The rap game. Okay? The civilization through the samples. And they were punished by being chained to the rock for eternal suffering. It's crazy, right? It's crazy. Well, that's it for this episode. Episode 012. And I'll see y'all next time. Peace.